The pace is fast and furious, as we are seeing today that Trump has confirmed that Tulsi Gabbard will be the director of Department of National Intelligence. What is DNI, you might ask? What's the difference between DNI and CIA? Well, Department of National Intelligence deals with some specific aspects of the intelligence collection. In fact, they have been Trump's ears and eyes during his first term. John Ratcliffe actually was the director of DNI at that time. Now he is the director of CIA, because Trump is trying to make sure that he literally, I mean, he's really trying to clean the swamp here to try and make sure that there is somebody of authority in place in the CIA. So now we still have FBI pending. It's not everything smooth sailing for Trump. In the Senate majority leader race, there were three candidates. There was Rick Scott, who was Trump's choice, and there were two other candidates, one of them being John Thune. Today, there was a vote for who shall be the Senate majority leader for the Republicans, and John Thune has actually won that. He got 29 votes. I think the strength of the senators in Republican Party who are is about 49 or 48 now. So 29 is a decisive majority. So Thune becomes the majority leader. However, we should remember, in case of a tie, it is the vice president who will cast the who will break the tie. So that is one side. Now, what is the other implications? John Thune is seen as part of the existing Republican leadership, and I don't know what is going to happen there as to whether they will still try to sort of impede Trump, because that's exactly what the previous one did. What's his name? Mitch McConnell did. He wasn't exactly a Trump fan, and he in fact tried to put as many roadblocks as possible. Now, I don't know if he's still the senator or not. If he steps down, he might be facing some investigations about how his sister-in-law committed suicide in his ranch in, I think, Texas, if I remember correctly. This is a big Chinese connection. His wife is, has got Chinese American connections. A lot of stuff. Okay, so Mitch McConnell will be he's going to be in trouble. I can tell you that. But Tulsi Gabbard taking over as the director of national intelligence, a lot of things are going to be interesting, because Tulsi is a straight shooter. She says it as she sees it, and she has been remarkably steadfast in her support of the nation, especially when it comes to preserving the integrity of the country, the defense. She has been very, very clear in her thought processes. In fact, that was one of the reasons why she was shunned by the Democratic Party. I mean, Hillary Clinton made sure that Tulsi Gabbard would get elbowed out. It's not like, she literally got elbowed out of the Democratic Party. Then she finally quit the party after a few years. Now, I think she's an independent. Although, remember, in US, you can be a Democrat and still be serving on a Republican administration. There's no bars of any kind. So I don't know, but I think that's a good thing. Tulsi has got very clear vision as to what needs to be done. And there are some other things that are coming up. For example, today there was a Republican meeting, and that Elon Musk was a special appointee, and he said that any of those candidates who are Renos, Republicans in name only, I am going to fund the opposing person inside the Republican Party, so that that person has at least the money power. So Elon Musk has really got his lot with Trump. He says, I'm going to really make sure that the swamp is clean. And you also have a very interesting appointment in the defense secretary. And about that, I'll do a little bit more in detail with General Ravi Shankar. But just to tell you who he is, his name is Mike something. Let me see. I'm actually, this is not hot off the press. This is hot off the oven. I'm just taking it and running with it right now. Just give me 1 second. I'm scrolling here to see Pete Hegseth. Pete Hegseth. And in one of his interviews, and this I'll be playing it back after I make sure that there are no copyright issues on that one. He says that in the Pentagon, they have been gaming the war scenarios with China. And they said every time it yields the same result. United States loses. This might be surprising to you. And as to why United States loses, in his opinion, the United States, from the time it thinks of a new weapon or a new armament or whatever you want to call it, it takes 10 years before it actually bears fruit. They have to line up the manufacturer and all the other things that have to happen. And he says that as of today, hypersonic technology that the Chinese have, what is the main fighting weapon of the United States? Let's say in the Pacific, if it has to go to war against China, how is it going to do? It is going to sail. It's going to have aircraft carriers. That's going to be their main strike force, right? Unless US wants to, use intercontinental ballistic missiles. See, they'll be over the ocean for a long time. And if you have a hypersonic missile on one side, it can easily bring it down. Anyway, what he says is that one hypersonic missile dropped on each aircraft carrier, I think there are 8 or 9 that the United States has, and it's end of story. Let that thing sink in, guys. This is the new Department of Defense spokesperson. I'm sorry, he's the new Secretary of Department of Defense. Pete is not, making this up. And he's a Columbia graduate. He's also served in the Army. He's got very impressive credentials, and he comes across extremely sophisticated. I think what I see is in 2024, a bunch of successful Republicans have decided that if they don't do, I'm sorry, not successful Republicans, successful Americans have decided that if they don't do something about it, that the Democrats are going to completely ruin this great country of ours. And that's why you're seeing all these really, really smart people now congregating and trying to help Trump out win this. In fact, if you ask me, Republicans have to be in power for 2 to 3 more terms. That's the amount of rot that the Democrats have done this, because they really, really figured out that they don't want to deal with issues. They don't want to deal with good leadership. Instead, they'll start pandering to vote banks. Where have we heard this thing before? In India. So this is the same story. Democrats are the Congress of the United States, and they are going to go away unless, of course, they are going to give it a fight. They are saying that even this election there were some hanky-panky tried, but the Republicans were alert. I don't have the exact details. These things will come over a period of time. However, I can't dare explain the specifics on a YouTube video because chances of that getting taken down are pretty good. I don't want to do that. I don't want to lose my credibility in terms of it's not credibility. I will still have my credibility. I just won't have my channel. So you get the idea, right? These are all allegations at this point of time, but there are some moves that were done, especially in Pennsylvania, that prevented some things from happening. Let me put it this way. Something rises up in the morning and the same thing sets in the evening. Fair enough, right? It's the same thing like that. So that's all I have today. And Mano Alex says, this seems to be a pro-US and anti-BRICS channel. Why do you say that, Mano? Have you seen this? Have you seen us for the last 6-7 years? We've been in transmission for 6-7 years. Are you making up this observation after watching one video? I mean, don't you think that you need to see a few more videos before you make up your mind? Okay. Question from Satya. He says, as Sanatani US citizen, what should be our agenda? Request to administration. Leave the Sanatanis alone. We don't want to go and fight anybody. But if there are people, lunatics, who are trying to say that we are going to take down Ayodhya temple, you got to take care of that. So there is the Ugra Sanatani that needs to show up. There is a Narsimha in every one of us. There's a Hanuman in every one of us. We need to start organizing effectively. And you saw what happened in Brampton, right? Only 1,000 people are expected to assemble. 6,000 showed up. So the Hindu is also seething. Seething. He's not angry. He's seething. So now that is beginning to show in action. In fact, there are some other videos saying that if you happen to be a student, if you happen to be on H1B, don't show up for a protest and all that BS. Every third person who's showing up pro-Khotestani protests in the United States, these guys are all from all over India. Their attorneys said, go and stand in these protests and have your video taken. Then in front of a judge, we can say, look, we will be discriminated against if you go back to India because of this video. I mean, these are all lowlifes. That's all I can say. So that's where things are standing at this point of time. Now, somebody's asking me about Kash Patel. Well, hold on. Wrong. What about Cash Patel? Is he setting some role? Not yet, but something will come up in the next couple of days. So we will wait and see what happens there. And here's a question from Sunny, a thought provocateur. Are there many Sachin Bazias in Canada police extracting money for Trudeau? I have no idea. This is for somebody in Canada to say. We are doing a lot of research. You do get a lot of data, but we need to counter check and cross check and verify. I mean, if money is given to you and there are no strings attached, people will get corrupt. That's all I can say. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching. And this was a very off the cuff thing that I decided to do because a lot of changes were coming in, a lot of appointments were coming in. I thought I should appraise you all of everything. Please like, subscribe, and please don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.